All right, are you guys ready for some Orktober madness? Because this is madness. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to beat the trying to top yourself allegations after this one. Tyler had sent in a broken rhino, and I asked him, what do you want me to make out of it? He's like, make a Rukkatrukk Squigbuggy. So I'm like, all right, cool. So 20 hours later or however long, and this is one of those projects where like it just took on a life of its own, and it just got, I was having so much fun that I just completely lost track of time and what I was doing with it. So I'm going to say 20 hours. I don't know what it actually was. It was a lot. But yeah, so it's not fully assembled right now because I want to keep it partially assembled for painting, but I do want to show you guys what madness we came up with. So we'll kind of start here at the top. We have some little crewmen up here with a couple of guns. Standard Orky affair. So now that I've shown them, I'm going to pull them out because they're just going to fall over as I do this. And then for the main weapon, we've got this catapult. Oh my gosh, how freaking cool is this? And I even once it's glued in place, it won't do that. But I have so much fun going. And I even made sure that the counterweight that has the little rocks in it actually fits and swings down through there. So like the fact that the rhino was missing this whole back area actually becomes part of the design. So I was really, really keen on that. And I left the door on. I just kind of had the door hanging down there so that's where I don't know, the shovel. What's that part of the catapult? The spoon has there. So I know you want to ask about this little guy, but to talk about the little guy, we have to talk about this. So I've had these forever. These are just little like dollhouse barrels that I want to say that I got from like Hobby Lobby for like $1. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been playing a lot of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I'm like, I should paint these red and like write TNT on the side, and just or maybe like little squig symbols, could buzzer squigs and stuff like that. So that's the ammunition for this catapult, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't assembled everything yet, because I want to put some of those barrels down in here, but I want to be able to get in there and paint like the door and the little scanner and everything like that. So that's why that's not fully assembled, but I thought it would be really fun. My original idea was to have a grot kind of sitting on the barrel, like, just kind of picking his nose or whatever, and he's not really paying attention and not realizing that he's about to die. But then I had this one head that had a little bandana on it, but I'm like, wait, that kind of looks like a gag. So I'm like, oh, what if his mates tied him to the barrel? So at first I'm like, well, I don't have a body, but I'm like, I'll just cover it with rope so that you can't see the body. But then when I was making the green stuff, I was like, wait, that kind of looks like a bag. And so then what I did is when I wrapped the twine around it, I pulled so while the green stuff was still soft, and it kind of squished into the green stuff a little and made those bulges that you get when you tie up a body. I don't know why I know that. It's not really something a healthy person should know, but but yeah. So so I love the idea that they're gonna shoot this guy. My guess is that he just he ate the last sandwich and he didn't ask first, and his mates had just had it with him. They're like, that's it, no more, no more, you're dead. All right, now the Rukkatrukk Squigbuggy has like these little band saws that come out of the side, and I'm like, no, 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 we got that's rookie numbers. We gotta put that up. So we have built this enormous monstrosity. I haven't glued the front on yet because I don't want the brush, but basically this is a spinning lawnmower blade of choppas, and then I showed it to the nice gentleman who donated the rhino, and he's like, "Oh, could you put some like drills on the front, like with gears and stuff, like in Labyrinth?" And oh my gosh, that movie Labyrinth scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. I remember just being in tears in the theater because I was like probably 4 or 5 at the time. And oh my gosh, evil Muppets scare you way more than anything else when you're that age. So we built a little gearing system here for transfer. I imagine the motor's back in there and it turns in here and spins the whole thing. And we got different cogs so it can spin up and stuff. And yeah, I love this so much. Look, kind of inspired by the Army of the Dead. If you guys ever seen that Sam Raimi masterpiece, where he's just got this thing spinning on the front of his car, but I can't imagine just what damage this would do, just ramming into a squad of Marines or something. This thing spinning, at 85 revolutions per second, just and the drills. I don't know. The drills aren't really pointed in the right direction, but with orcs it doesn't really matter. It's like, oh, I'll just run into this night leg and just drill into it. So that looks great. And so I built on top of here a little howdah for the gunners and put on a lot of little shields and stuff. One of the reasons why these shields are here is to hide the gaps, because when I was putting these sticks on, for some reason these sticks kept breaking. Well, because some of them I cut, like the big ones you can see there, I actually sawed. I have a little saw, like a little jeweler's saw. Here, I'll get it out. I'll show it to you. This little saw here. But honestly, it gets annoying to cut dozens and dozens and dozens of logs. So at a certain point, I was like, I'm just going to start clipping them. But they kept clipping in a weird way. They'd have like little points on them. And so you had all these gaps there. So part of the reason why the shield's there is to cover up all the gaps. And of course, I just dinged and drilled the crap out of everything. It was missing a track here in the front. So I just used some plastic card to make a new track. Just kind of bent it into the right shape and glued it in place. It was like 30 seconds. It was easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And it looks okay. It looks exactly like an orc repair job should. It's functional, kind of the same thing. This little metal bit here, so I can get it to focus. Yeah, I've been wanting to use for a long time. This is, I want to say, a banner from a second edition, like Killacan or Def Dread. It's a really cool bit, and it has like the pole and the little fasteners and everything in the back. So I've been waiting for the right chance to use it, because I don't think you can get this bit anymore. So that right there, look at that. That looks so nice and proper and orky. And then of course the catapult. I'm so proud of the catapult. I just think it looks so awesome. And one of the things I got were these really neat little laser cut glyphs, and they were really neat. They were really easy to use. I don't know where he got those from, but God, I sure would like to find out where he got them from and maybe get some more, because I'll tell you what, that is way easier than like carving your own. Oh my gosh, it was just effortless. It was like done and done. So when I was picking out parts for the catapult, I got this big stick here because it had this big gnarly end to it. And I was like, oh, that's looking great. I used some of my Boy Scout skills. Yes, I was actually a Boy Scout, to properly tie the cross beam to the main thing. And I was kind of proud of myself. I was like, hey, that's actually a legit way to tie it there. And I'm going to take that off for a second. So for the sides, I just kind of found these sticks that had little Y bends in them, and just kind of put them together, added a little rope, and bada bing, bada boom. Now you may be thinking, well, why is there nothing on top to keep it from, just falling out? Well, it's because I'm going to wait until after everything's painted before I permanently fasten this. But what I'll do is I'll take some more of this twine, and gosh, this twine has been just the MVP of this whole challenge. It's just so easy to use. It's effortless. Like, I've gotten really good at you just tie it, you do like a little shoestring knot, you pull it, put the tiniest little dab of glue, and then it holds into place, and then you just start wrapping it around, and then when you're done, you glue it again, and then you can actually, it's strong enough, you can actually use it. Sometimes I'll throw a lot of glue to actually create extra strength. Anyway, I'll put some twine there on top to hold it in place, because in my mind, this thing, if when it goes to about here, the counterweight's going to hit the floor, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then that's when thump, it launches. But you need something to keep it from bouncing up. And I know I'm bringing real engineering principles into this, which is kind of ridiculous. But anyway, so there is a kind of catapult like this where it doesn't have a top bar to stop the hand. What stops it is when the counterweight hits the ground at about right here. That stops, so it goes tunk and just hits the ground. So because it hits the ground there inside, I'm going to be adding in this little bit here. So that the idea is that every time they fire this thing, it smashes this dead space marine a little bit more. Like it's just tonk, tonk, tonk. Like he's just kind of slowly flattening as the battle goes on. And that just, little bit of orc humor there. So yeah, I think this right here is one of those things that I just kind of stumbled onto it. But oh my gosh, it makes me smile. It makes me happy every single time. And here's some more of those little laser etched wooden glyph bits. I made my own big one, but it was just the gob, right? It was just the jaw. So I'm like, I'll just put a jaw on it. And I have to squint my eyes because this is white and this is brown. And I'm like, I'm not sure how it's going to look. But when I squint my eyes and imagine it all one color, I'm like, that's going to look pretty cool and doofy there. And okay, you'll never be able to see this once it's painted and assembled, but one of the flat bits in there, because and you can see there's some Legos in there just to bulk it out. I needed just a circular cylinder cone, and I needed a flat bit on top. And so when I was going through my Lego bag, there was this flat round piece, but it had pizza printed on it. And so so I'm like, well, this is very Ninja Turtle-y. So I think this is our hidden pizza. You know how Disney has hidden Mickeys? Well, this is the hidden pizza. The little counterweight here, it's not full of rocks. There's a fake floor about right there. And then it's just the top layer is actually the rocks. Although these rocks actually, I use these for basing. They're really, really light. They're not very heavy at all. They're like a little volcanic, like pumice. They're very, very light, but just so I didn't have to fill the whole thing with rocks. That's what I did there, and built the basket, and the two baskets really, because there's this one here. Anyway, this is my first entry for Bits Boys in Orktober, and it also counts towards the Grot Army Challenge. So this is very efficient. It counts for both. So I had when I accepted the Bits Boys challenge, one of my friends was like, "Hey, are you going to be able to do both?" And so I sent him back that picture of Anakin, where he's like, "You underestimate my power." So yeah, just the way I'm doing it is just and okay. So those snotlings that I was that Tyler donated, check it out. One of them is gonna go right here. Yep, he's gonna kind of hang on there, and he's got this little rock he's gonna throw, and it just fits so perfectly. His hand fits perfectly on that little stick there, and so he's gonna be on that side, and then on the other side, we have this other snotling with a frying pan, and he's like these two are from the pump wagon, and he kind of goes right on there. So yeah, we're gonna have these two snotlies just kind of gripping on there on the top. That's gonna look so great. Oh, it's gonna look so great. I love the sprue of snotlings that was donated. It's the Blood Bowl Nose Picker team, which is one of the greatest sports teams names of all time. And so these are great because they have so much personality, and they're always doing things that kind of don't really matter, if that makes sense. They're just kind of like screaming, and like here's a guy here. He's kind of running and screaming and stuff. And so these little snotlings are great. Oh, this guy here, I can't wait to use this one. This guy here, he's just like getting ready to throw a squig. Like a squig grenade. And so they're great because you can just kind of throw them on all these vehicles and just kind of just cover them with Orky madness. So those snotlings are absolutely wonderful. And I may put a snotling right in here because there's a little more room than is needed for the two gunners, but we'll see. You don't want to. I know I'm going to say something really hypocritical. You don't want to do too much. Okay, I hear you laughing. I hear you laughing. But at a certain point, things get so busy that people can't visually tell what they're looking at. That's one of the reasons why I paint kind of a monocolor scheme with just one primary color and then just a lot of like bare metal and scratched up paint and stuff, because if there were a lot of different colors, I feel like it would just get so busy that it would just be crazy. So here's a little, you can see what's underneath. These four little gears don't actually connect to anything. Neither do those four. But when it's taken as a whole, it feels like everything has a purpose and links together. And that's kind of, that's very orky. You can see I also did my little Boy Scout wrap in there as well. And these two gears actually fit together when I put them. So I was real happy about that. But then these two didn't quite fit together. So that's why this little sprocket here, that tooth is lined up there to hide the fact that these two aren't actually connected the way they should be. Anyway, there's your showcase, guys. Wow, 16 minutes. I do blather on, don't I? But I'm so proud of this thing. This thing is so freaking cool. And when it's all painted up, it's going to look even better. We've got the explosive barrels. I love the Wile E. Coyote kind of just lobbing TNT. I love the squished marine. I love the snotlings. This is just great. This is just so cool. So, and just having a tank with a catapult on the back is just so deliciously orky. It's just this weird amalgamation of high tech and low tech and no tech, and and there's a sense of fun to it, and of course the spare ammunition, they're just kind of strapped it here onto the back of the tank. They've made no real attempt to protect themselves from the explosions when someone inevitably shoots at this thing. But that's very orky. The tank blows up and the other orcs laugh. That's how it goes. All right, thank you much, guys. I'll talk to you later.